It's time now for County-Wide, a presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. You'll hear about the interesting issues and happenings that affect all our lives. Here's today's County-Wide.
Well, a good day to you and welcome to the program. It's County-Wide. I'm Brad Miller, and we're happy to welcome into studio a guest that we talked to about a year ago at this time. Tony Sanborn is here, and the Prescott Valley Police Department and many other agencies going to be part of something really special coming up here in about a week's time or so in Prescott Valley, and the public will be invited to come in as a free event and be a part of this. We're talking about the canines, those four-legged officers who are out there with all of our first responders and who we know now are such important parts of law enforcement and that kind of thing in our area and Tony, all across America. So good to have you back in studio.
Well, thanks, Brad. Appreciate you having me on again.
Did I get it right? This is going to be kind of there's going to be a local kind of demonstration for folks, but bigger than that, this is a real kind of confab, a week-long session for handlers and canines from across most of the states? Or
Yes, sir. And even out of state. We got Colorado is going to be attending this year as well.
Right.
We'd like to open it up to our out-of-state friends too. But yeah, you're exactly right. We're going to be here all week long. One of the benefits we talked about last year about coming on your radio program is at the very minimum to get your listeners informed on why there's so many police cars, kind of an influx all around your city for that full week. But yes, our public event is just Tuesday night where we want to have the public come out, and we'll talk more about that. But the whole week we'll be kind of invading the Prescott Valley area.
Going to be a lot of yapping going on in the area. Okay, well, July 22nd, let me mention that at 4:30. This will be at Findlay Toyota Center. 4:30, the doors open for a free event and starts at 6 o'clock. And if you want to see what these dogs know, how they're trained, what they do to protect us, this is a great way to go and see that and be a part of it. And there'll be demonstrations and different kinds of activities and things like that.
Exactly. Yeah, we want to make it as interactive, very family friendly. So we're going to be in the middle of the stadium, and we'll have as many seats filled as we can get. And we have open mic session where we can do Q&A and answer questions from the crowd.
That's cool.
About what we do, because that's really what the public demonstration part is all about, is being transparent with the public and understanding why we use police dogs. What are they used for? How do we get a dog to do what it does? A lot of people have those kind of questions.
Yeah.
So, and then demonstrate all the skills and have some fun with it too. We tend to make it almost a combination of rodeo and police competition. So we try to combine the two to make it more fun and entertaining for the crowd.
One of the things that I think some few people might think, and I remember many years ago now because I've talked to so many folks like yourself, but a lot of us think a police dog can sniff drugs, can sniff cadaver, can attack, and all these, but they're specialized, aren't they? They don't all learn all of those important skills.
Yeah. So our membership it's more varied than ever before. So yes, we have our patrol dogs. Those are the dogs you see out looking, finding, biting bad guys.
Right.
Incredible tool. Makes us safer. It saves our life. It saves the public's life. That the dog is incredibly valuable. The detection side, it doesn't have to be that it's a biting dog. It could be a single-purpose detection dog, finding bombs for major events, finding drugs, when we're doing interdiction on the highways. Right. We have Department of Corrections dogs that go and find cell phones. Believe it or not, cell phones have that chip has a unique odor to it, and they can find cell phones being hidden inside of the jail cell. And then you have, the cadaver dogs. That's something else, right?
Yeah.
And then we have a new group in our membership that's becoming more valuable than ever, which is our therapy dogs, our support dogs. Right. So now you have full uniformed officers that are working in the schools or working as part of like a crisis team that are specifically for therapy to go out and calm people down and help interact a little bit better with members of the public that are experiencing crisis.
So, okay, like you got a domestic violence situation and your guys are there. And if there's weapons, we've gotten disposed of them. But some people can get really, really upset and excited. I'm telling you this, an officer.
Yeah.
Okay, but I know that a domestic violence call can be one of the most dangerous things anybody can walk into.
Yes, sir.
This is maybe an example where the dog might come in, maybe even help with kids that are scared. Eh?
Yeah,
that's what it is.
That would be after the event has calmed.
Right.
Yeah. So after the trauma of the event and everything has calmed down, and now it's time for us to sort out what's next. Yeah, we could have one of our crisis canines present for that. interacting with the kids. It could be that you had a death in the family. Maybe a loved one passed away and we arrived, and we'd have one of our crisis canines be there and it's amazing to watch the public interact with that dog and watch them ease and relax and calm down and process the whole situation
almost like
so
magic.
much better. Yeah, it's magic. It's medical science as well. It's proven that it works, that it helps people calm down, it helps people's cortisol levels reduce, and it helps you think a little more clearly. So it's been a huge I think find for the law enforcement community to start using therapy dogs.
Yeah.
But our school resource officers are really the ones that are seeing the most success.
Right.
They're having kids approach them and come up and ask questions and come into their office, and they just become more approachable because of that dog.
They're inviting.
Exactly.
Just their nature is
Yep.
that way. Yeah. Everybody loves a dog. Let's do this. Let's take a break. First let's do this. Outline for me, there's that full kind of week, and there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. There's that piece for the public, and that'll be on the 22nd. But you're going to do stuff kind of break out in classroom sessions and training sessions, and what kind of describe some of what your work week will be like during this event.
Yeah, we'll break it down. So Monday, the big thing for us is getting our annual certification in. So we're going to be out I think we're using the high school again.
Okay.
So we'll be out at the high school getting our certification done, which is required every year to make sure our dogs are meeting a standard.
All right.
Then we move into Tuesday, which is going to be a lot of classroom. So we're going to have some mental health professionals. Struggle Well is a great group that's out there that's helping law enforcement out with PTSD and other mental health issues. And we make that a big part of ALICA's mission, which I should mention. ALICA is the Arizona Law Enforcement Canine Association. That's us.
Yeah.
And one of our missions is to make sure our members are getting mental health support. So at every seminar, we have somebody come in and speak for an hour just to make sure they understand there's resources available to them. So they'll be there. We'll do tactical debriefs, a little bit of classroom training. And then Tuesday night is our big event, the big public event out at the Finley Toyota Center. And then we go into Wednesday and Thursday, and we're going to head out to Yavapai College. Has been a great partner for us every year that we're up here. And they're giving us the campus this year that's out by the airport, the technical campus.
Sure.
And we're going to be out there for both nights from basically around 5 p.m. to midnight. And it's 1 hour blocks of training for all these 60 canine teams to run through. And it's all reality-based scenarios meant to kick up their stress levels and then make them make decisions under stress. That's really like the meat and potatoes of the way we train.
So there's going to be kind of that, you mentioned at the top of the show, that police presence with a lot of squads and units and all of that kind of stuff.
Correct.
Uniformed officers, probably tactical gear, even maybe for training. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. You'll see us moving around town. You'll see a bunch of police cars you don't recognize that are from out of town. So just bear with us as we move through your town and get from place to place.
Doing this important training, and they've chosen the Prescott Valley area to do it. All right. We'll take a short break. Talking with Tony Sanborn, ALICA, the Arizona Law Enforcement Canine Association, big event coming up. Public event on Tuesday, July 22nd, Finley Toyota Center, and then a lot of good training and information for the officers and the canine teams themselves. We'll take a break. We'll be back to Countywide right after this.
Life changes, then it changes again. Predicting the unexpected in life is impossible. That's why it's called unexpected. So when it comes to financial goals, our philosophy is don't predict, prepare. Hi, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Matthias Sandoval. A job loss, change in health, or a loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure you're equipped for life's unexpected events. Call our office to schedule a face-to-face appointment.
Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
Verde Solaire, your hometown heating, air conditioning, and plumbing company in the Verde Valley, and your trusted North Central Arizona Goodman dealer. Goodman is a name you can trust with the revolutionary Comfort Bridge technology factory installed into select Goodman gas furnaces and air handlers to ensure the entire system operates at peak energy efficient performance. Verde Solaire offers free in-home estimates, locally owned and operated since 1983. Visit them at verdesolaire.com. Better, cleaner, faster.
Thank you so very much for your generosity and kindness in helping others. I hope that you take advantage of the many Arizona state tax credits available when giving to qualified charities and schools. If you haven't taken advantage, I hope you'll ask your favorite charity if they qualify. You can go to Arizona Department of Revenue website, search for tax credits, and look at the list of qualifying charities. Then look at your latest Arizona income tax return and see how an Arizona tax credit can benefit many. This is Lewis saying thanks again.
Spring is here and it's the perfect time for a fresh start. Jonna Randall Murdoch, your local Farm Bureau agent, is ready to help you simplify and protect what matters most: your home, your car, your life, and your future. Jonna offers competitive pricing with a relationship-first approach that puts you at the center of every decision. Call Jonna Randall Murdoch today at 928-649-8686, located on Villa Drive in Cottonwood. Farm Bureau Financial Services. It's your future. Let's protect it.
And welcome back to the program. I'm Brad Miller, and again, our guest today, Tony Sanborn of the Arizona Law Enforcement Canine Association. A heavy police presence in the Prescott Valley area this week. You may have noticed it already. Tonight is actually the big event, Finley Toyota Center. The doors will open at 4:30. The event starts at 6. This will be a free, family-friendly event where the officers will do some demonstrations with their canines, show you just how it works, what they do, how some of the training is performed, and how they protect you and I. And that's tonight. That's going to be a good event. Again, free and open to the public. But all week long, there's these classes that you mentioned in our first segment. And we kind of were chatting before we had the mics going about mental health and how we've really kind of learned, we meaning first responders, and I hope it kind of gets a better solid foundation with our military guys. But certainly with law enforcement, fire, we're hearing that mental health is starting to be understood better for the demon that it can be with our officers. And I got to ask, and if this is a silly question, we'll all laugh about it. Can the canines, can the dogs also struggle maybe with what we might call PTSD or mental health from what they experience?
Yeah, absolutely they do. And that's it's something we notice.
No kidding.
Usually in newer dogs. So
Okay.
when we have a senior dog that's been around and experienced a lot of different types of calls, been through a lot of training, and we've done that right, that's what's so incredible about them is they're so durable, so versatile,
Right.
And they can just work through anything. Incredible levels of courage. That's what makes them so different from your dog at home, is they have this really unnatural level of courage. You know, things that they should run away from, they don't. Where we see mistakes made is sometimes in that initial training for the dog. If you try to run with that dog before you walk, so to speak, when it comes to the tactical training, you can break their spirit. You can get them to a place where they just want to avoid certain circumstances because you've tried to move too quick. That's kind of the bread and butter of what Alika is. Our training is the number one thing that we do. And it's making sure that we're all on the same page on a statewide level and sometimes national level, bringing some of the best trainers to the same room so that everyone can discuss, hey, here's what we've experienced where things have failed. Here's what we've experienced where things have succeeded. Here's how we made this dog so great. And here's where we broke a dog, broke his spirit, where he didn't want to work anymore, to make sure that we have the best standards and the best practices within our industry so that we can continue to utilize this incredibly valuable tool that saves lives.
Right.
We don't want to see the training kind of falter and then watch this whole program nationwide kind of fall apart because there is scrutiny involved with using police dogs, obviously.
So it's just like you think about a rookie officer goes through the academy. He's not going to have the experience that some 14-year sergeant is going to have. It's kind of the same thing.
Absolutely.
It's just that experience and, that know-how and street sense or whatever, what have you.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's
all pays into
and
it.
it's really stress-based. That's really what it comes down to. That's what we found when it comes to our training is reality-based training it's the idea that you try to replicate the level of stress that someone would experience in the real world.
Right.
Do it in a training setting where it's more controlled. Let that person make decisions. Some people refer to it as stress inoculation, where you learn how to control your stress. You learn how to think clearly while experiencing this massive adrenaline dump. That's the difference between a brand new rookie cop and a guy who's been around a while and seen some things. Same goes with dogs.
Right.
Let that dog experience some things. Let him go through things in training and in the real world that get him prepared to see what he's encountering, and then make decisions under stress.
When the dog, you have a dog.
I do.
A canine.
I still run a dog.
Okay.
In the city of Scottsdale.
Where did you get kind of paired with him as far as he was trained, now he's ready for the street? Do you jump in before he's ready for the street for X number of weeks or months? Do you get him and on day one you're out on patrol? How does that
so the process,
happen?
so he's my current dog, who's been just incredible, is about to retire at the beginning of next year. So
What's his name?
Jaro. Yeah, so I'll get a new dog in like January, February, and I'll start this process all over again. So we reach out to our vendor and let them know that we're looking for a dog.
Okay.
In our case, we have a guy out in Holland that looks for dogs for us, where there's a huge community where it's part of their culture out there in Holland to raise working dogs. It's like the number one export for them is
Does
working
the
dogs.
Belgian Malinois?
Belgian Malinois mostly Belgian Malinois. You still get some variances in there, and there's still German Shepherds that are great and they're workable. They're fine. Dutch Shepherds is another dog that gets used, another breed that gets used quite a bit, but Malinois are still primary. But you find the dog, so selection is critical, right? That's probably one of the most critical things is selecting the dog that's right for the job initially.
They're not bred to be police dogs.
Yes and no. So that the breeders that are out there, they are doing selective breeding to make sure they're passing along certain genetic traits that they saw from great working dogs in the past.
Okay.
Does every puppy in that litter come out to be a working dog? No. They figure out usually around 16 to 24 weeks which dogs kind of have that right drive that they're looking for, which is that extremely high prey drive, very low defense drive.
Gotcha.
They can start to weed out which puppies are going to be someone's pet and which ones are going to be working dogs.
Okay.
And then they start to harness that natural instinct that they have and work with it, and then get that dog to his teenage years, so to speak, right around a year old or so. And that's when they start to prepare them for the higher level of training where they're doing bite work and obedience and releasing and searching and learning how to find human odor. That's when the dog goes up for sale. You get the dog, bring them in country. There's a small bonding process where you teach this dog that I'm your new owner, I'm your new boss.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but
No, it's okay.
Does that ever not work?
It does. Yeah. You find dogs and humans that sometimes just don't click. Where on initial selection, the dog looks great. Then you get him brought over to the States and you start working with them and realize, we're just not bonding. Me and this dog can't bond. So we're going to have to make a switch. And it's not the handler you switch, it's the dog. So you send him back, and he may work great for somebody else in a different agency, and that's okay. And then you get the dog that fits with you. So it's kind of a unique thing.
Like human partners.
It's exactly right. Yeah.
So isn't that wild?
It's crazy. But so then the dog starts his initial basic training, and that's usually anywhere from 240 to about 350 hours of basic training just for patrol work. And then you get that dog certified through our annual national certification standard that we have. And then you can go hit the street and start working them on the road.
Okay.
And then you get into a whole other world of, most dogs are dual purpose. Right. And so you start the detection training, whether it's bombs or narcotics or whatever it may be. But then you start detection training. And that's another about 8 weeks or so of training the dog to get up on all of his odors. And then do another certification. And then you can hit the street with a dual purpose dog.
So like officers, the dog never stops training?
Never. No.
Yeah.
Like Jaro's at the point now, my current dog, with all the years of training, the hours that have been invested in him, he is that automatic dog where you cut the leash off, he knows exactly what he's supposed to do, and there's very little work for me. That's all about to change for me next year.
Yeah.
Where all of a sudden I got to start working again, and it's going to be me right beside the dog teaching him what I'm looking for and what I need until he starts to understand it better. But
you gonna miss him?
Oh, 100%. But he'll be
personal bond.
He'll be mine. So once he is finished, he'll get signed over to me from the city. They'll sign him over to me.
That's pretty common, isn't it? That the officer gets assigned the dog.
You see the dog more than you see your own family. Yeah. So you become very bonded. He's with you at home, and then you go to work and he's with you at work. So he becomes your best buddy. And so you end up taking him with you. And that's why you almost always see the handler take the dog in retirement.
Okay, one other question along that line. I don't mean to pry, but I find it fascinating. You've got your young daughter in the studio with you, so you've got at least one child at home. Ever any trepidation about introducing that trained dog into a home with children in it?
So sometimes there is issues with certain dogs and them not wanting to be, I'd say social. Let's just call it social.
Sure.
They don't have sociability. And so when you find that you have dogs that are not social, you have to make certain arrangements at home.
Okay.
So you end up having, let's say, more of a structured life at home.
Okay.
My second dog was that way, where he just would not interact with humans, not in a friendly setting.
Right.
He always wanted to work. That's all he wanted to do. And so that was the life he lived, where he would go out, take breaks in the backyard, hang out, and then he'd come in and he'd rest, and then we'd go to work.
Gotcha.
That's all he ever wanted to do.
Gotcha.
But, luckily you can have dogs that also sometimes hang out and are very social at home, and then you take them to work and they do their thing.
They've all got their own personality.
Yeah.
It is really something. All right, fascinating conversation. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit about how you can help. There's always resources needed to help with this training, equipment, gear, the continued expertise and knowledge that these officers and their canines need to continue to protect the public. We'll be back with Tony Sanborn, Arizona Law Enforcement Canine Association, countywide. Back.
Life changes, then it changes again. Predicting the unexpected in life is impossible. That's why it's called unexpected. So when it comes to financial goals, our philosophy is don't predict, prepare. Hi, I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor Matthias Sandoval. A job loss, change in health, or a loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure you're equipped for life's unexpected events. Call our office to schedule a face-to-face appointment.
Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
Verde Solaire, your hometown heating, air conditioning, and plumbing company in the Verde Valley, and your trusted North Central Arizona Goodman dealer. Goodman is a name you can trust with the revolutionary Comfort Bridge technology factory installed into select Goodman gas furnaces and air handlers to ensure the entire system operates at peak energy efficient performance. Verde Solaire offers free in-home estimates, locally owned and operated since 1983. Visit them at verdesolaire.com. Better, cleaner, faster.
Thank you so very much for your generosity and kindness in helping others. I hope that you take advantage of the many Arizona state tax credits available when giving to qualified charities and schools. If you haven't taken advantage, I hope you'll ask your favorite charity if they qualify. You can go to Arizona Department of Revenue website, search for tax credits, and look at the list of qualifying charities. Then look at your latest Arizona income tax return and see how an Arizona tax credit can benefit many. This is Lewis saying thanks again.
Spring is here, and it's the perfect time for a fresh start. Jonna Randall Murdoch, your local Farm Bureau agent, is ready to help you simplify and protect what matters most: your home, your car, your life, and your future. Jonna offers competitive pricing with a relationship-first approach that puts you at the center of every decision. Call Jonna Randall Murdoch today at 928-649-8686, located on Villa Drive in Cottonwood. Farm Bureau Financial Services. It's your future. Let's protect it.
We welcome you back. Our final segment. Tony Sanborn is our guest today, talking about tonight's event, July 22nd, Findlay Toyota Center. Doors open at 4:30. The event starts at 6. It's a free event, free and open to the public, where you can see up close and personal how these police officers and their canines, companions, and how they do it, what they go out, some of the things that they face every single day. It's a tough job, and somebody's got to do it, and these officers and their canines are out there protecting the public, and it's fascinating if you get a chance to come by. Resources, money's always needed. Agencies are stressed. Everybody is. Tonight there's going to be some vendors and whatnot. Will there be? Wait, it's a free event, no charge to get in. But if somebody wants to throw $10 toward Alika, toward the group, can they do that?
Yeah, so Alika is a nonprofit. We're a 501c3. Training, equipment, education, and support. That's our mission. And the public side is the education portion where we educate the public. That's what this event is on Tuesday. Yeah. And we can't do it without the public's help. We have these great sponsors. Circle K is our number one sponsor. Good. They're out there for everything we do, and they keep us running. They have been fantastic. So thank you, Circle K. But this is the first year that we're going to have a lot of other vendors. So if you come out in previous years and seen the event, thank you for coming. But this is the first year we're going to have vendors all through the concourse area. So you'll have 10, 11 vendors or so. Olson's Grain, who's been fantastic. They're going to be out there. Kona Dogwear, Saving Paws Rescue, the Red X Armory. We have DPS and Yavapai County and their recruiting groups. So if you're thinking about a career in law enforcement, those folks are going to be out there looking to do some recruiting and tell you about the job and what that's like. Struggle Well, which I mentioned earlier in the program, which is that great group that's doing all the mental health work for law enforcement. They're going to be there to talk about their mission and what they're doing to help our officers in coping with some of the stress of the job and to survive in retirement. So that's just a few, but it's going to be great. So come on out, and there'll be places for you to donate. We have our website. If you can't make it and you just want to check out and follow us on social media, which we post great stuff, or just make a donation, we'd appreciate it. AlikaPoliceK9.com is our website. ALECA. PoliceK9.com. Yes, sir.
Okay, great way to do it. So doors open at 4:30 this afternoon, really, and then the event itself starts at 6, so a good 90 minutes or so to talk to those vendors, find out what they have to offer, make a contribution if you can. It's a tough job out there, and they do it on our behalf. Our guest today, Tony Sanborn. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Keep safe out there while you do your job.
Appreciate it.
Tony Sanborn, Arizona Law Enforcement Canine Association. Again, the event tonight, Findlay Toyota Center. Doors open at 4:30. It is a free, family-friendly event. It's countywide. We'll see you next time.
This has been Countywide. Listen in each Tuesday and Thursday at this time. If you have a topic or guest idea that you'd like to suggest, email us, news@myradioplace.com.